Well, Cordelia Kretzschmar's in Vatican City for us. A bit of a surprise choice, Cordelia?
A huge surprise, Lorraine. Do you know, when the new Pope first appeared on the balcony, a lot of the people in the crowd genuinely had no idea who he was, because he was, of course, a 30-to-1 rank outsider. Just a word on who is Pope Francis the man. The crowd didn't seem to know who he was at first.
I'm not sure that any of us really know, but the fact that he took the bus back and not the papal car, I think may be a sign of things to come. But he is theologically very conservative, so probably not much change there.
OK, the first down-to-earth Pope in history. Another first in a month, absolutely full of them here in Rome.
Is this going to overshadow the tour, do you think?
Well, I don't know if it's going to overshadow the whole tour, but it's certainly raining on their parade a little bit, isn't it? You know, until now, we had thought that these shots of Kate at a mosque today, the biggest mosque in Malaysia, wearing a headscarf and looking very demure and respectful, would have been the image of the tour. Unfortunately, she is going to be remembered here in Malaysia, a Muslim country, and in fact around the world, should these photographs be published eventually, for quite a different image. And that is very embarrassing for any woman, particularly awkward for a member of the royal family at a very sensitive time around the world, of course, because remember, Western interests, in particular American embassies, are coming under threat. There was a big police presence outside the American embassy here earlier because of world events and that film. So really, Kate does not want to be seen to be causing any kind of offence, quite the opposite.
Cordelia Kretzschmar is at Westminster. Cordelia, how important do you think today's appearance by the Director General is, well, for the credibility of the BBC?
Lorraine, it couldn't be more important, because the accusation now is that senior BBC management are actually trying to prevent BBC journalists from getting the truth about Jimmy Savile out. So we're clearly on very, very dangerous ground, because this goes to the heart of that contract, if you like, between a broadcaster and its viewers, which of course is trust. This used to be the village of Arahama on the outskirts of Sendai. Now it's quite literally the end of the road. Even the damage done by one of the strongest earthquakes in history is nothing compared to this total wipeout. That's what a tsunami does. Then came the warning. OK, and now we're being told there's another tsunami on the way. Everyone's being cleared out of the way and we've really got to run. This evacuation was a false alarm. Japan's in a state of emergency and high anxiety. London burning again, this time suburban South London. And on Croydon's main high street at midnight, one of the most dangerous fires of all. 5 doors down from a bookie's blazing out of control. Locked behind this door, under the nose of police, a woman trapped. She'd been shouting for help for some time from a smoke-filled building.
Are you all right? Yeah. Come out. I just heard lots of people screaming.
Are your children upstairs, ma'am? Yeah? Do we need to get police? As ordinary families across London had their lives turned upside down, one masked teenager tried to explain the violence.
There's a lot of youth angry right about now, and that ain't good.
What are they angry about?
You're asking me. I've talked to one younger than me, and they're telling me they're not angry, they're not happy about the government, they're not happy about how they're being treated.
Cordelia has been talking to a number of senior security sources in the US. Claims that bin Laden was alive when he was captured and then killed. Cordelia, that's one of the lines kind of bandied around at the minute. Can you add or shed any light to that?
That's coming from bin Laden's daughter, who's being debriefed by the Pakistanis right now. I think the important question is, and this touches on it, was this a kill or a capture mission? And as I understand it from sources very senior, the kind of people who watched this operation go down live, there was a huge debate in the preceding weeks in the administration about whether this should be kill or capture. In the end, they did come down on the kill option. And just think about it, you know, they could have just shot a guided missile at the compound and obliterated everyone. The main reason I'm given to understand that they didn't do that was simply because they wanted to be able to identify positively Osama bin Laden's body. The child mobs of Ardoin hit a new low. Petrol bombs in the face of their parish priest. They're starting again. How can you keep this under control?
Well, it's almost impossible to keep it under control because it takes a life of its own now.
There's no respect here and no shame. What you got planned for tonight?
A rat, a petrol bomb, all the cops.
Petrol bomb?
Yep. Kill them all.
Kill them all? Standing on that corner right over there are convicted IRA terrorists trying to stop these kids causing trouble, and they're just ignoring them. Waving their desperate hellos, the children abandoned by their parents in the suburbs of Athens. This is one of the local mums forced to give her children away, all three of them.
Sorry.
She's crying, she says, because she doesn't feel human anymore. We took Kassiani to visit her children, a journey she can't often afford. The desperation clear to see. So how could she walk away from them? She says she lost her job as a cleaner last year and can't find another one. Then her benefits were cut by so much she couldn't feed her family. She says she gave the children she loves away for their own good.
She feels that there's no life.
It's the economic crisis that has broken this family apart. It's a desperate situation here, a real Greek tragedy for the children as well as the parents. Child abandonments are on the increase across Greece. In a country close to collapse, statistics are simply not being collected. But in the last year, the charity SOS Children's received almost 1,000 requests from Greek families, many asking them to take their kids. That's 2.5 times the year before. 2/3 of them were because of financial crisis. And the abandoned children come to this purpose-built village outside Athens. Villages like this are usually found in the world's trouble spots, looking after orphans of war and disaster. But this village is in Europe. Many of these children are here because their parents couldn't afford them. Meanwhile, on the streets of Athens, many more families on the brink of disaster. Georgia's only keeping her family together thanks to humanitarian relief. A food package a month is all that stands between her and complete family breakdown. Does your family sometimes go hungry?
1 week per month, yes, because they finish all. We don't have enough. There are times that I send my children to school with one piece of bread and ketchup on it. I didn't have anything else to put.
Money can't buy love, they say. Tell that to the orphans of austerity, given away by parents who couldn't afford them. Sangan village, Afghanistan, and a convoy of US soldiers is on patrol. Suicide bomb, and the soldiers are caught up in chaos. Actually, nothing you see here is real. Nothing except the soldiers, that is, because this is the US military's not-so-basic training. Welcome to Fort Polk, 300 square miles of Louisiana swampland that now plays host to the US military's most unusual training facility. What they've done here is take 200,000 acres of America and turn it into Afghanistan. Look at this place. They've got fake fruit, fake bread, the signs are in Afghan. It may seem like being on the set of a Hollywood movie, but the purpose here is deadly serious. There are more than 20 ultra-realistic villages inside the base, peopled by genuine Afghans and Iraqis, as well as Louisiana locals. We've just seen you in action. This is not a normal job.
No, not at all. It's very much fun and very satisfying.
Yes. Our soldiers are going into a situation that this training helps them in situations they encounter to determine what is friendly and what is a potential danger.
These are, in many ways, they're regular American boys and girls. How do you see them reacting to these kinds of situations? That was realistic.
Well, yeah, they react to it like it's really happening, and everybody forgets that it's a simulation.
Sometimes they do it right, sometimes they make mistakes, I guess.
That's right. It's better to make a mistake here than over there.
The scenarios played out here are created from intelligence reports fresh from the front. But they're not just training soldiers how to fight, they're training them to think, snap decisions that'll determine whether they're invited to dinner or targeted for attack.
Everything's just kind of familiar, but not completely. Coming down here just adds to, I guess, the feeling of being away from home, and I guess it adds just a little bit of stress that way. So it helps.
So we're in the village of Tirani today. What's happening here?
They're going to surround the town, then come in and talk to the village elder, the mullah, and any other individuals that they deem important enough for to get information out of, to find an individual that they believe has been building bombs in the area.
The soldiers enter the village peopled entirely by Afghan nationals. We weren't allowed to interview them, and we've been asked to hide their identities for their own security.
The attention to detail here is just so stunning. They take their training so seriously here. What's happening here is they're asking the village elder if he knows where the man they're looking for is.
The soldiers now believe they know where their target is. They approach the centre of the village. Neither they nor us knew what would happen next.
Hey, hold on. Got them outside so we can treat it.
There's a lot that goes into it. The explosions, the fire, the simulated casualties. It serves to sensitize them for all the bad things that can happen, because here winning is learning, winning is doing the training, and so that when you get downrange and you have a bad day, you're prepared for it.
Well, we've been given a rare insight into the extreme lengths the American military will go to protect its boys and girls in the wars it chooses to fight. This is the world's biggest military machine, using every trick in the book to ensure success.